In today's video, we are going to be checking out a bunch of small builders that you should know about. What's up everyone, my name is Zach, and as always this is Fuzz Drones. What I like to do on this channel is demo some of the heaviest sounding pedals and amps, do a demo for it, and then release that demo to you. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to be checking out 5 pedal builders that I think you should know about. Now there are a lot of great pedal builders out there that just don't get the recognition that they should. So I'm hoping this video brings some light to all of you watching, just to show you that small pedal builders can do some really great things. So now we're just going to dive right into this video and start it off with the 0 fret. So Kerry was nice enough to send me out the Black Russian Rat, and just the name's pretty self-explanatory. It is a mixture of a Black Russian Big Muff and a Proco Rat. The Black Russian is one of my favorite Big Muffs. It's not one of my favorite. It is my favorite Big Muff out there. And if you don't love the Rat, you're definitely not living life or something like that. But when he told me that he was sending me this one, I was very excited about it, and this thing did not disappoint. Most of you watching this video right now know my page. We don't do clean here. We don't do blues rock or anything like that. We do doom, we do metal, we do drone, we do maybe a little post rock here and there, but we mainly do heavy things on this channel. And I have to say, this pedal right here is the epitome of heavy. Now you have 2 clipping options with this. In the upward position you have silicon, and in the downward you have germanium. Me personally, I like the silicon just a little bit better. Doesn't mean that you have to like it. It's just my personal preference. I think this pedal does really well with low tuned guitars. I was using it in drop A, and this thing retained its clarity. It didn't sound mushy or anything like that. It's just overall a very well done pedal, and I'm very happy that Kerry sent me this one, because he has a bunch of other pedals in his line, but after looking through the page and everything to see what he offers, this was the one that always grabbed my attention. So thank you for that. Now the last thing I want to add about this is I love this black and purple crackle finish on this. It just screams like the 80s and 90s death metal. And I just think it works super well with this pedal. I'm a big fan of it, and you should be too. So that's enough of me talking. Let's go to the section that everybody's looking for. Let's take a closer listen to the Black Russian Rat from 0 fret. Next up on the list is the DTF, and now get your head out of the gutter because it doesn't mean what you think it does. The DTF is the dual transistor fuzz from Voltic Electronics. Now, I wasn't very familiar with John's work at first. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I've seen other people do demos on it, but I really never took a deeper dive into it. But I reached out to him. I said, hey, I'm doing this series. Do you want to be a part of this? And he said, absolutely. And the first time I plugged this thing in at home with the Mad Amp, I was absolutely blown away by it because I wasn't expecting it. Because most of the demos I saw of his pedals, and that there's nothing wrong with it, were just not this, like the style of music that I play on this channel. So I was like, how's this going to do and everything like that? But when I plugged it in, it was thick. It was tight sounding. I'm going to get more into the controls about it, and that's all going to make sense in a little bit. But it, for 2 knobs and 2 switches on it, this thing covers so much, and it really brought the Mad Amp to life. And it was the surprise out of this, the biggest surprise out of this whole series, because I wasn't expecting to like this pedal as much as I do. Now, the dual transistor fuzz is a modified harmonic percolator circuit pushing a MOSFET booster. Now, you have 2 switches on this. You have on this side right here on your right side. Basically what this is going to do, it's going to allow you to use this as a treble booster or a full range boost. Then on the other side, you have 3 different modes. I guess you could call them modes. But what this is going to do, this is going to control the clipping, diode distortion, and compression of the pedal. And then on the top right here, you have your post and your pre. For how simplistic this pedal is, and I'm not saying that in a negative way at all, but these are the pedals I love. Couple of switches and 2 knobs. These are the pedals that I envy. Like, these are the pedals that I want, just because I don't want to be bothered with like 15 knobs and switches and everything like that on a pedal, just because I'm a simplistic person. For what he did with this right here, it's perfect. And I do have to say, if you crack one of these open, his work inside is immaculate. You know what? I'm just going to pop it up on the screen somewhere right now, just to show you how clean this pedal is inside. All in all, it's just a fantastic pedal, and we're going to check it out now. third up on the list is going to be the Paper Wasp from Gear Ant. Alad was nice enough to send this one out to me. This is going to be a very gnarly sounding octave down fuzz pedal that I think you're all really going to enjoy. Now, I didn't really get to try this at home that much just because it was delivered a couple hours before I came here to shoot this video with John. But for the little time that I did spend with it, this thing sounds really, really good for a octave down fuzz. Now, the thing that I've noticed with octave down fuzz pedals in the past is there's no clarity to them. If you're really jacking up the octave on it, it just becomes like a ball of mush and you're like, what the hell is being played? Now, this actually has 2 octaves on it that you could blend together, which I think is a really cool feature. So if you want to get extra nasty with it, just start cranking up this second octave right there, and you're going to have just like a doom Jack White tone. Like, I feel this is a pedal Jack White would definitely use just to rip some solos or kind of add like a bass line to his songs and everything like that. It's just a really cool pedal all overall. Now, another thing I want to mention is the attention to detail of this case right here. Alad does everything by hand. He doesn't send them out to companies to print or anything like that. It's just him in the room, and he gets the job done. I'm going to just toss up a B-roll right now just so you could get a better look on the details on this pedal. There's like this cool cherry blossom floral pattern on it, and it's going around the case right here. He even continues it on the knobs right here, which I think is really hard to do because it's not just on the face of the knobs. It's like in the nooks and crannies and everything like that. So you could just definitely tell he loves what he does and he really cares about what he's putting out there. So now let's go over the controls of the Paper Wasp. On the top right here, you have your volume, you have your gain, you have your octave 1 right here to the left, your blend knob, and your octave 2 right here. And then you have this switch in the middle. To the left, the fuzz is going to be engaged, and to the right, it's just going to be completely out of the circuit. It's just going to be off. Now that's enough about the Paper Wasp. Let's take a listen to hear how it sounds. Fourth up on the list, we're going to be checking out the PWR from Mountain King. Now, the best way to describe this pedal is just brutal. The first time I kicked it on at home, I couldn't believe what was coming out of the speakers. It has such a bass-heavy tone to it. It's absolutely insane. And I was using the Mad Amp and the Ampeg V4 at home, and it sounded fantastic with those two amps. It sounds even better if you throw an overdrive in front of it, just because it tightens up everything a little bit, but still retaining that low end clarity. Now, I've known about Alan and Mountain King for quite some time now, but this is actually the first time that I'm trying anything out from him. So when I got this in, I was very excited. John at the studio has a couple pedals from him and he swears by them. So when I was able to finally try this out, I was very stoked. And I think this took Alan about maybe close to 2 years to develop. And I do have to say, he didn't miss on this one. Now let's go over the controls of the pedal. On top right here, you have your drive. That is going to increase the amount of distortion and volume of the pedal. And as you turn it to the right, you're going to get a more saturated tone with a little bit of compression. Then you have the headroom knob, which is going to act like a variac. Basically, what this is going to do is increase or decrease the voltage to the pedal. Then the output, we all know what that's going to do. That's going to either increase or decrease the volume of the pedal. Then the notch knob on the bottom, this is going to cut your mid-range as you turn it more to the left. The notch and slope are very interactive with one another, so I would just play these two off one another just to see what settings work best for you. Then you have the slope knob right here, which is going to adjust your high and low frequencies. And then lastly, you have this bypass filter switch in the middle. In the upward position, the filter section is going to be engaged, and then the downward position, it's going to be out of the circuit. Then if you open this thing up, there are internal dip switches, which will allow you to increase or decrease the amount of gain to the pedal. The way Alan sent it, I thought it was perfect. I didn't want to adjust it or anything like that. So I haven't really messed around with the internal dip switches, but I do just want to let you know that they are there if you just want a little bit more gain to your overall tone. Now I'm going to stop talking and we're going to check the PWR out. Last up on the list, we are going to be checking out the newest addition to the blue Colander line, the Astronomy Domine reverb. Now, this thing is so much more than just a reverb pedal. It's a distortion. It's a overdrive. It has this really cool oscillation feature that really gives you some really nice drony, soundscapey feedback tones out of it. And I'm not the biggest fan of reverb pedals, but when you're mixing all of that stuff into one reverb, you piqued my attention. So I feel this reverb isn't just catered towards one style of player, because when I think of reverbs, I think of like ambient post-rock type of things. I think you could come up with some really cool doomy drone, like interludes, leads with this thing 100%. And I really like that with this. Just thinking about it, like we just finished up the playthrough with it. Some of the tones we were getting out of it, I was just like, how is this even possible? Like I said before, this crash feature right here on the bottom, it's really cool. And I really did enjoy this one. So now let's go over some of the controls of the Astronomy Domine. The volume is going to add some clean boosts. Your color is your output treble cut and boost filter. Your color toggle has 3 different positions you could do. To the left, it's going to be a fuller tone. In the middle, it's going to sound just a bit brighter. And to the right, it's going to be a treble boost. Then you have the space toggle right here on the bottom. This is going to set the overall gain, headroom, and clipping range of the pedal. And then you have 3 positions for it. To the left, it's going to be clean. In the middle position, it's going to be overdrive. And to the right, it's going to be distortion. Then you have your dry and reverb. This is going to set the volume of each channel. So this is working like a gain control for the drive. Then you have the feed and fold toggle to the bottom left. This allows you to send reverb back to the input, giving you reverb feedback. Then you have the crash switch on the bottom right here. This is going to engage self-oscillation, and this works in conjunction with your feed and fold and your space settings. Now we're going to take a couple minutes to check out and hear what the Astronomy Domine sounds like. So that's the first video of this series. I hope everybody enjoyed it that's watching right now. I hope this video opened up your eyes to some smaller builders that are doing some great things right now, and hopefully you give them a shot in the future. I want to give a big thanks to Zero Fret, Gear Ant, Voltic, Mountain King, and Blue Colander for sending these pedals out for me to display in this video. I really did enjoy them all, and I really hope everybody watching enjoyed them as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future demos, but until the next video, my name is Zach, and this is